Hi. Well, I hope you're doing well. I am, except I do have a cold, and as you could probably hear, and as a wind player, that's really no fun at all. I did play a little bit today, just to the bare minimum, all the warm ups on the instruments, just so my face stays in shape. But that was about it. Now I feel pretty good, but now it also happens to be 2:30 in the morning. Now, I am a night owl by nature, but I mean, I am wide awake, and neighbors probably wouldn't be down with me practicing now. And here's the thing: I have a show that I have to substitute in for the first time next week. In fact, it's actually in 6 days. So what am I going to do? Well, there's another important part, another component of your preparation as a substitute. In addition to, fingers and learning all the little spots that are hard, um, is listening to the score and absorbing it and absorbing the performance of the regular. I have now everything I need. I have a recording that was made in the pit at my request, and that the regular person graciously made for me. This evening, She also sent me what is now standard, which is what they call the conductor cam. So that's a video in which you see what you would see if you were sitting in the pit, what the conductor does at all the various spots for vamps, how this conductor negotiates retards and accelerandos and what have you. And then the recording is made, I think, from probably the board mix in the house. In any case, I like to study, in particular, the recording made by alongside the regular, because as a substitute, your job is to stand out by not standing out. You want to make everyone around you comfortable, and you do that by having it so they have to adjust to your playing as little as possible. The best compliment you can receive as a substitute is when someone in another part of the orchestra said, "Gosh, maybe the tone was a little different. I heard something a little different, but I didn't realize there was a sub here tonight." Then you know you did your job correctly. And by the way, you also got to make the conductor comfortable, because they're under all sorts of pressure from people out in the house, from management, from the people on stage. They've got a lot of responsibilities. So the less they have to worry about you, the more they're going to love having you there. Substituting is a win-win situation, and a two-way street for these reasons. If you're the regular, playing 8 shows a week is, especially in an extended run, is not good for either your mental or your physical health. Um, my great grandfather used to say that the body doesn't complain, but it writes everything down. And in this case, even though it's only 8 times a week, if all you're doing is playing that show at the same times every day, every week, your body's going to start to see the repetitive patterns. And eventually, that's what's going to lead to repetitive strain injuries of all sorts, and you want to avoid that. And then, of course, mentally, I don't care who you are, when you've played, and no matter how much you love the show, eventually something is going to start to give. By taking a night off, either to go to the movies or to spend time with your family or to go out and play other music, which often is the case, and do other jobs, that refreshes you musically and spiritually, and you're with playing with other people, and it breaks the repetitive cycle. More importantly, the late Mort Silver always used to tell me, who was, by the way, Mort was a prominent New York woodwind player and double, worked in the studios and on Broadway, and he used to say, "Look, basically, we're all subs. So you do, by being able to take off and play in other situations, you're maintaining your other contacts and your other jobs. Like, if you work for a club date office, let's say, or you play in some other bands, you don't want to suddenly think that you've dropped off the face of the earth, or you've been absorbed into a show never to be seen again, because shows do close. So it's important for you as a regular to be able to do those things. And as a substitute, well, if you're new to town, this is a way for people to get to know you, and to learn that you will show up to a job prepared and on time and with a nice attitude. And that's how your networking happens. And if you've been around a while, well, it's just fun anyway. It can be a little scary. It's like an extreme sport, and you're dealing with different personalities. But that's also the good part, is the variety. So anyway, by studying the score, going back to what I was talking about, apart from your instrument, that's what makes it easier for you to come back to a show when maybe you haven't played it in a while, because you've absorbed it, you've put it further into your consciousness, and you're also learning the score much as you would an orchestral part, let's say for an audition, so that, let's say you have long rests, you know what's going on during those rests. You know what's going on around you, so that you have more information than just saying there's 4 bars rest and you got to count and make sure you don't lose count for especially an extended rest. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do now since I have the time and obviously wide awake, and at least until the NyQuil kicks in. Meanwhile, I hope you're well and taking good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.